I just got off a call with one of my clients that I was consulting recently, and I realized that one of the biggest chatting mistakes that people make, and I know I say this a lot, biggest chatting mistakes, but this is honestly probably the biggest thing that they're undermining in their whole entire operation, is the chatter hiring process, right? Like when you think about it, most of these agencies and like people that chat on your account if you're a model, they just kind of hire people off of either Telegram or maybe they have some sort of a funnel and they just put them onto the account without any proper training. How can we then expect any results or any good results from these chatters if we never really told them what to do? Well, you can't. So you need to have a structure and you have to have a set training regimen that you will put these chatters through so they can be the best chatters that they can be. And I'm gonna talk you through how we do it, so maybe you can find a system that works for your agency, or maybe you can find a system that, or maybe you can find yourself in our system. Reach out to me to my Telegram and we can maybe discuss a call about onboarding. Without further ado, I'm gonna go through why trained, unexperienced chatters are better than experienced, untrained chatters, and how we do it. The biggest mistake that most big agencies make when onboarding new chatters is hiring chatters with experience and just tossing them onto an account without prior training or maybe talking to them. Best case scenario, they might get an interview or something and they just get it onto the account immediately and just chat freestyle. They never even got in touch with how the agency that hired them actually does chatting, or maybe how different chatters operate within their team, or what their chatting managers actually expect of them. They're just kind of being tossed into this mix of people and other personalities, blah, 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 blah. And now they're supposed to make sales, and if they don't make sales, they just get fired. To me, that doesn't really say stability. It doesn't really scream, business. It mostly falls under unexperienced business owners trying to do something that's out of their scope of work and, making it work, because it is OnlyFans. It's a new industry and people still haven't really taken it seriously. Agencies tend to forget that you're hiring salespeople. You're not hiring chatters. You're supposed to be hiring people who are interesting, who have the personality to actually get in touch with a person's emotions and kind of know how to communicate with other types of people. Because at the end of the day, this is a person-to-person business, and we're handling communication. We're not necessarily handling, AI tools or programming. It's not an exact science. It's person-to-person work, and every person is different. So you need to find chatters who have personality to be able to adapt to different types of people who come onto the account, so the people who actually, spend their hard-earned money get a positive experience from this girl, and not just another, e-whore that's gonna take, I'm not even gonna go into the things that these guys are typing, but you know what I mean by e-whore, right? For an example, when someone talks to me in a robotic and a really nonchalant tone in an interview, I'm just immediately ruling him out as a good salesman, because he might be good at, programming or maybe engineering something that I could never dream of engineering, but he's never gonna speak to a person and actually get in touch with a person's emotions because he doesn't have them himself. So it's gonna be super hard for him to actually get into the minds of these fans and think, okay, this fan is feeling X, so now I will try to adapt and make him feel better by doing Y. A pro tip that I can give you is to look for people who are overly into medias. Example, people who play video games, people who watch shows, people who go out a lot, people who watch shows, watch films, stuff like that. Go for people that have experience with people's emotions. Don't just go for someone who looks professional. Trust me, if there existed an industry where being professional, is not really the number one thing that you're looking for, is this industry, because people still have to be casual, but they have to be respectful. This is exactly why Serbian chatters work so well, because everybody in Serbia is, super westernized, because we grew up on these Western medias, right? And we constantly catch up with the newest films, the newest shows, we play the newest games. And plus people in Serbia are just naturally charismatic and playful, because that's just what the culture is. We're from the Balkans, especially because we're close to the Mediterranean a little bit. So we kind of have the super disciplined mentality from the communist days and stuff like that, kind of really drilled into our school system and stuff like that. But on the other side, we have this super cheery, playful side, because we tend to be super optimistic, outgoing, joyful about life. And on top of all of that, they're not really that high cost as well, because a regular salary in Serbia might be like 500 to 600 euros, and a chatter can easily earn 1k, 2k, 3k euros a month and be super well off. So he's gonna love that deal. But what Serbian chatters really need is the training. And you have to have a very structured training process to be able to pull the most out of these guys. So you have to have a section of theory where you basically engrave the values that your SOP has into them, so they can then be the best chatters that they can possibly be. And then you have to test them, how well they kind of got the curriculum, by either doing mock chats or maybe giving them a trial shift where you kind of monitor their work. Either you, your manager, just kind of monitor their work and see what their workflow is, what they gathered from the training, were they listening to you. And then at the end, you have to give them a grade. And if they surpass a certain grade, then cool, they get to be on board and they get to work on this, high performance, sales driven position. It's kind of a big deal for them as well. And if you make it like super fun and engaging, they're going to be 10 times happier to work for you. But if they don't live up to the grade that they have to live up to, then you can give them two options. Either go back to training and try again in like 3-4 days, whenever you finish training, or just quit and go to a different agency. You have to really train Serbians because they love to be trained. We're a nation that is used to being trained, and not only the military, but in the school system and in the university system. Like, it's just a thing that happens in Serbia, and we tend to respond super well to a well-structured training course, no matter what we do, because we want to get that bread. We're super hungry to get that bread, and we kind of feel like the world kind of wronged us, so we want to prove that to the world that we're the strongest. Serbia, yeah. So yeah, definitely my whole take on this is definitely go for Serbian chatters, but you have to have a system that trains them to be these sales assassins that we all know that they can be, because they already are. There's a certain reputation about Serbian chatters in the OF industry. Awesome. Now you got the chatting figured out. You know how to train your chatters, you know where to get them from, and you have a system built to train them. But something's not right. You're not really pulling the ratios that you should be pulling, and well, maybe it's your marketing. Fortunately for us, we're a full management agency, so we handle everything from the marketing to the chatting side, which means that our marketing is aligned with the personality of our chatters, and people who come from, organic sources like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, they kind of already subliminally know what the whole character of the girl that they're going to be talking to is going to be like in the chats, and they're kind of looking forward to it. It's like this bubbly feminine girl on Instagram that creates like these funny, quirky reels, and they come into the chats and they're like super amazed that the chats are then followed by a lot of the same qualities that they saw on Instagram. So they're just way more likely to trust us and spend more, because to them, yeah, it's definitely the same girl that runs her Instagram, and it's definitely the same girl that's chatting to me right now. So what I'm gonna do as a fan is I'm gonna spend more money so I can eventually get to know her better, and maybe even be her boyfriend, because that's what these guys want. They want intimacy, as I've discussed more in the videos that I already made. So this is why it's crucial to have either your marketing manager or maybe an external marketing agency that's doing the marketing for you be involved with the chatting and kind of know what character needs to be represented, and it needs to be other way around. If you don't have control over the marketing, then you need to let your chatters know, like, hey, this is the personality that we need to portray. This is how we're gonna do it in the chats. This is the SOP. Here you go. I'm gonna train you for it, and you guys are gonna do amazing. Like, everything needs to be streamlined, and nothing can seem unnatural. A slight hint of unnatural behavior coming from the model, either on the marketing side or the chatting side, is gonna signal to the fan that we're untrustworthy, and they're gonna be way less likely to spend big. So if you're struggling to have super huge ratios on maybe slower months, or struggling to find those whales that spend 20, 50, 100K a month, then that might be the problem. You're not matching the energy that you're giving out on Instagram and other social media platforms. With that being said, we are currently expanding. We're trying to grow our agency as much as possible. So we're currently taking on new clients all the time, marketing and chatting. And when you do decide to book a consultation call with us, we're gonna give you not only our expert opinion about these topics, we're also going to give you actionable steps that you can instantly take to drive your revenue up, fix your marketing as much as possible. And we're just basically going to try to give as much value to you guys as we possibly can, because we know there's a lot of fake people in this space, and we're just trying to market ourselves as people who are real and who actually want to help you out as the agency owner, as the marketing manager, as a chatting manager, as a model, as a chatter. We're happy to help anyone out. So you don't have to hesitate to reach out. We're gonna book a consultation call whenever we're both available, and we're gonna see what we can do about your current situation the best way possible.